Hey guys, welcome to Reddit Brew. Today, I will be reading from the r/JUSTNOMIL subreddit. I will give a quick warning that this story is a bit heavy and does involve some controversial opinions, but without further ado, let's jump into it. My mill nearly killed her neighbor's partner. My mother-in-law is a woman with many potentially fatal medical conditions that can be somewhat mitigated with proper treatment. She, however, thinks doctors know nothing and that everything she needs to know can be found on the internet. Her neighbor's partner has cancer and has been going through chemo, with some pretty uncomfortable side effects. Enter my mill, who thinks she's an expert because she reads things on the internet, insisting that he needs specific supplements. Don't question her, she knows what she's talking about. She ordered these supplements especially for you. Take them. As the subject line may have given away, the supplements caused issues with the chemo, and he got really sick. And today, she asked my SO if he thought it was her fault, because she was just trying to help. SO is a good man. He told her it was definitely her fault, and she needs to knock that shit off and let people listen to their doctors without meddling. She won't. Anyways, this all happened around Easter time. My husband and I are atheists. Okay, I'm an atheist, and he's still a little anxious about declaring it because of the abuse called religion he experienced growing up. One thing we are crystal clear about is that his mother is not allowed to bring her evangelical Christian flat earther beliefs into anything she does with our daughter, or she will go on a very long time out. Like, so long that she'll die first because her health sucks. Because we had no plans for this Easter Sunday, my husband thought he'd take our daughter to see his mom. I didn't think it was a great idea, but he won me over with the words of, "No Christian shit allowed," and "a couple hours of time to yourself." Dear reader, I caved. When they got home, he filled me in on what went down. The bitch gave my daughter a gift bag with a cross crafted onto it. And let's learn about the real meaning of Easter book. He said he ripped off the cross and handed it and the book back to her and said this can't happen anymore. Admittedly, I rolled my eyes a bit as he handed the bag to me for further inspection. I was looking through the excess of tissue paper and a small amount of candy, giving him crap for not leaving immediately, when I found it. A religious card with the following written inside. "Mill loves you, but Jesus loves you more." I lost my shit. My husband told me I was right. He should have left. And the woman who doesn't act like a Christian, but tries to get everyone to believe she's the most Christian-y of all, she's in timeout. And she's lost all visits on Christian holidays. For good. My husband has decided it's time to go full official no contact with his mom. She has not contacted him since he dared to disagree with her views again on the January 6th insurrection at the Capitol. Not even for his birthday. And he thinks it's better for our family to keep it that way. The woman is down deep in the conspiracy theories and anti-vax sentiments and seems to believe we are following Satan straight to hell. We have been holding money of hers in our bank account because the government isn't allowed to know how much she has, and my husband intends to send her a check, so we no longer have responsibility for it. We are trying to do all and anything else we can do to make sure he doesn't become responsible for medical decisions. She has congestive heart failure, but is very non-compliant in taking medications, or medical, tax, and other bills when she dies. He's an only child, and she is single, so there is nobody else to deal with it. Fortunately, our only child is an adult now, and she agrees that her grandmother is toxic. I'm glad that my husband is taking this step, but feel terrible for him. It's a lot to process. Update. My husband needed time to consider what steps he wanted to take towards full no contact. Asked me if that was okay, and I reminded him that I have been no contact with his mother for 5 years, and that his choices are his. He doesn't need permission. Then a birthday card showed up for our daughter. I gave it to him unopened because we were supposed to be going no contact. He opened it and came to me saying, It's not that bad. We should just give it to daughter, etc. I told him that he needed to do some deep thinking about what he really wants to do, because no contact is useless if you allow exceptions for cards or things you think aren't that bad. He said he'd think about it more. Yesterday, she called and emailed him multiple times, implying that it was an emergency. He's been a mess ever since. She's pushing all his foggy little buttons. I told him it's okay to tell her he can't talk until after work, so he emailed her that. He felt obligated to call, so when he did last night, she said that she fell and needed help, but she couldn't talk right then. He called back, and she texted that she was in a meeting. He took the bold step of saying he needed to relax after a stressful day, and she could just email about what she needed. I'm sure the next thing won't surprise anyone here. This morning, she emailed that she's called 911 and is on her way to the hospital. This is not new behavior. Many times in the past, if she felt he wasn't being dutiful or ignoring her too much, she would stop taking the meds she needs and end up in the hospital. She told him in January she'd been messing with her meds/diet/oxygen. My guess is she didn't like the lack of contact during the pandemic and was hoping to force the issue. Most likely she fell because she hasn't been taking her meds. All I can do is remind him that this is her pattern. I have no idea how this is going to end, but he finally agrees that he needs therapy. Personally, I hope that this is the episode that kills her, and don't feel the least bit of guilt about it. I hate seeing him go through this yet again. And now, the end is near. Trigger warning, impending death. It's been a couple of months since my last post. My husband had decided to go no contact after his mom once again stopped taking her meds and landed herself in the hospital because she wanted his attention. He's done great with no contact. Talked to the hospital social worker and told them not to contact him further. They were very understanding and appreciated the heads up on her manipulative ways. Sent a short email to his mom, then blocked her on everything. And that was it, until today. A social worker called him from a skilled nursing facility 4 hours away from here. His mom is on a ventilator and is not expected to survive. And her best friend of more than 50 years is taking over decision making. My husband talked to the best friend, and she was lovely. Knows the history between my husband and his mom, and completely understood why he went no contact. Didn't blame or shame him, was just kind and supportive. And that will probably be that. We both feel a bit bad that she's dying alone in a nursing home. We're not complete assholes, but she brought it on herself. Her attention-seeking ways backfired, and she drove away anyone who might have been there for her. We certainly can't and won't rush to her side, and even her best friend has no plans to physically go see her. It's a wretched end to a wretched woman. Update. It's over. After going into multiple organ failure, Mill was removed from the ventilator and passed away yesterday afternoon. My husband is numb. My daughter is sad. She was holding out hope that Mill would come to her senses. I am in get shit done mode because my husband is the executor of her will and shit needs to get done. I had a dream about her last night. We were in the house where my parents lived over 30 years ago. My daughter and husband were upstairs, and she was taking advantage of their absence to spew all the nasty things she used to say behind my back directly to my face. I looked her in the eye and told her to take a good look at her son and granddaughter, because that was the last time she'd ever see or talk to them. I called her a bitch for good measure, and then my parents escorted her out of the door. Nice of my brain to process this so promptly, and in such an uncomplicated way. I am sorry for the emotions my husband and daughter are dealing with, but I am not sorry she's gone. I am looking forward to a future without her shadow over everything. So, the reason I said in the beginning that this is slightly controversial is because I personally would never wish death upon anyone. However, I completely understand that this whole situation fell under the play stupid games, win stupid prizes category, where Mil drove everyone away with her boundary stomping conspiracy nonsense. Then when no one wanted to be around her, she tried to gaslight people into feeling sorry for her, which resulted in her dying. It is absolutely 100% Mil's fault that she died alone with no support. I am just a very empathetic person and can't help but feel kind of bad for her. But anyways, that is all from me today. Let me know what you guys thought about this one. I love to hear your opinions. And if you did enjoy this story, leave a like and subscribe if you want. I truly appreciate when you do, and I will see you in the next Reddit story. Bye!